All right. I have one person viewing right now. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Virginia Fruit Grower. Well, hey, bro, what's going on? How you doing? This is the first time I do a live stream, and I spent a little time putting everything together, and I'm not even sure um, how to actually do this, but we're gonna give it a shot, and I'm hoping that I can have uh, these types of get-togethers at least once a week and then have different topics that we can explore. Can you hear me, Virginia fruit grower? If you can hear me, give me a emoji or something, if you don't mind. All right. Okay, good, good. So you can at least chat with me. I see how this works. You can chat with me down there in the text box. Um, but it would be amazing if we could actually have a conversation where you could hear me and I could hear you. So I need to look into that. Do you know if that's even possible? Could that be done through this interface, through the live chat here on Facebook, or it's only going to be text based? I have a feeling it might only be text based. But anyway, if there's a way to make this work where I can actually have a conversation, let me see what it says down there. It says yes if you invite. Okay. Now, how the hell do I do that? Let's see. Maybe I can figure this out. If I go down to you, and then I go to hand a little arrow thing here. It says I can report you, but I can't add you. Let me see. It says add as a moderator, channel activity. Go to channel. All right, I'll figure this thing out. I'm not quite sure. Let me see if there's anything else. Let's see. Engage with your audience. A little heart, a little symbol. I wonder if I've got to find out. That's something I need to find out. Let me click this other thing over here. What does this thing do? Community moderation timestamp pop out. Okay. Anyway, have you ever done this? And by the way, Virginia fruit grower, what's your first name, if you don't mind telling me? I have two people on here now. Okay. All right. So everybody, welcome. I'm speaking with Virginia fruit grower. He goes by G. Welcome, G. How you doing, buddy? This is the first time I do this. I see I have two people on here, and appreciate that thumbs up. That's nice. Um, so as I was saying, and that person's gone now, so I guess he's not a regular, that's for sure, or at least he doesn't care to participate with us. But yeah, if anybody knows what the hell I got to click here to get someone to participate, in other words, said G said that I could do something to invite, but honestly, I haven't been able to find where that is on here. I'll keep looking for it. Maybe I can find it. But anyway, yeah, if I could figure out how to invite people, what you're saying, G, is that then I can hear you speak to me. And do you know like how many people? Could it be like two people or could it be like 20 people? Is there a way to add a bunch of people? Do you know? Let's see. Maybe we can get the answer. But anyway, I guess that while we're here, uh, I might as well talk a little bit about something. So let's just not talk too much more about the live stream because obviously I have a lot to learn about how to make this work. But I thought I'd jump into it this evening and see if I can get a couple of people on here. Welcome, whoever you are. Why don't you say hello? I have two viewers right now. Appreciate that. If you're just joining in right now, this is Pepe from Pepe's Fruit Trees. I'm in one of my guest rooms in the house, and I kind of set it up this way just so we could have a little chat, and I could try to consider doing this maybe once a week in the evening to see if we can get people involved and have an actual conversation about fruit trees, what you guys are doing, what you guys like doing. It's not about me, it's going to be about you guys. So, whoever happens to jump in, let's talk about what you're doing, not so much what I'm doing. It says here, I believe they will co-stream with you. I haven't done it personally, but have seen it done. Okay. All right. There's another thing. Um, I think there's other platforms like obviously there's Zoom and stuff like that, but there's no way to reach such an audience on Zoom. So I guess tomorrow I'll be watching some videos on how to make this work, where you and I, G, can have a conversation with a few other people on here, and maybe it'd be like a Zoom window. We have a couple of people featured. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, let's talk about something related to fruit trees for a moment. Do you grow any exotic plants, G? Anything you've got going on that you grow that's really like, outside of the typical, well, let's say something that you do that would be like an extreme zone pushing type of thing. What do you grow and what area are you in? I'll see if okay, let's see. All kinds of jabos. Okay. All right, but you're in Central or North Florida or South Florida. I think you're in, I might be wrong, but you might not even be in Florida, right? You're in another state, obviously, Virginia. Is that where you are, Virginia? But anyway, jabos are great. I have for about 5 years now. I've really gotten into the jabos, and I started growing the reds from seed. And I have about a 7-year old tree actually. So I guess I started a lot longer than 5 years. Yeah, I started about 7 years ago, and I grew those red jabos, and you know, 3.5 years, boom, they started fruiting, and now they're almost 7 years old, and they fruit like crazy. You guys might have seen, well, you guys, the only one watching me, thank you, is G. But yeah, the oh, somebody else just jumped in. If you're just joining us, stick around. We're having a little powwow, a little chat session here. Just a general conversation about fruit trees and what you might be growing. Um, and I see that some people jump in and they jump out, but that's okay. They're probably just scrolling by and kind of seen this live and decided to see what it was all about. I grew most tropical fruits, and it shows up. Oh, okay. So you are north of us. You're in Virginia, and you have that set up in a greenhouse. Do you have to concern yourself at all with you know heating the greenhouse, or do you get enough temperature from the sun during the day built up that you can keep everything cozy? What do you do to keep them warm? I'll wait. I'll wait for your response. Now it looks like we have four participants. At least four people apparently are watching. If you just jumped in for the first time, thank you for coming in. Stick around for a little bit. I'd appreciate it. Give me a chance to get the ball rolling here. And what we're doing tonight is we have G down there in the chat box, and we're just having a conversation. I grow jabos and lychees in the Atlanta area. Wow, you guys are amazing. Atlanta, and you guys are growing lychees and you're growing jabos. That's fantastic. So that's Max, right? Okay, and then I have G. G is in Virginia, and you grow jabos, and you have a greenhouse. So imagine that. I'm in South Florida, where it's relatively easy to do this, and you guys are in northern states. You guys are my heroes. That's amazing. You guys are growing stuff like lychees, and you're growing. Let's see, Max is growing in Atlanta lychees and jaboticabas. Uh, Max, you must have a greenhouse, right? Is that right? You have a greenhouse? Tell me you have a greenhouse. Anyway, while I wait for your answer, besides jabos, G, what else do you grow besides the jabos? Anything else? I'm trying to read this. This year, my emperor and hmm, G key. Okay, so your emperor produced fruit up in Atlanta. Very cool, Max. That is really really amazing. Let me see what we got here. I guess everything in and out at least twice a year. Okay, all right. So you have to bring everything inside the house, and that's a lot of work, man. I have to do that here when we have like a hurricane. And there's one out there, by the way, heading for Jamaica. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully everybody will be safe. But yeah, when we have hurricanes here, I have this big tent. It's not really a tent. It's a large 20. I think it's 20 by 10 foot, uh, kind of like a garage. Not a garage. It's like a carport that you put together. You snap it together, and it has. I have the 60%. I think it is shade cloth over it, and that thing's got the pipes, the tubes. And so when there's a hurricane or very high winds predicted, it's a job to get that thing down, put it away. And then I used to bring all the plants inside, stuff the garage. We're talking about probably 50 plants in 25-gallon containers, 100 plants in 3 gallon, and about maybe 50, 60 in 7 gallon. And then I have plants that are in little 1 gallon containers, and I got hundreds of those. So I used to have to put those all away, and then the hurricane wouldn't come. Thank God, right? The hurricane didn't come. Uh, but now I don't even worry about it. Honestly, what I do is I'll just I have some bushes. I'll put everything down on the ground, cover it up with a tarp, put some rocks on top of it, and let the hurricane come. It comes, it does whatever it does, and that's it. All right, let me see what we got going on here. All right, so you've got Eugenia, Anona, citrus, and even have some durian tree. Oh, so you're trying to be like a Bobby Beeswax, huh? You're trying to be like Bobby up there in Loxahatchee. He's growing durians, and he's an amazing guy. If nobody knows, if you guys haven't met Bobby, check out some of my videos. I have a couple of videos where Bobby has a coconut. He just grabbed it from his coconut tree, and he has it, and he puts it in his mouth, and he literally pulls the damn coconut apart. He opens it up, cracks it, and he drinks. Well, he gave me some water, and we drank some water. Let's see. We have. Let me just go back to Max. So I got you, Max. You're in there this year. My emperor. Okay. It says something about Max. If you're still with us, it says G. It says G key produce. G key. Why can't I think of what that is? G key. Is it the spelling, or is it just some variety of lychee that I don't know? Anyway, it says here, yeah, Bobby is my buddy. I did a video with him too. Yeah, Bobby's great. Bobby's a hell of a guy. I was there one time. I spent the whole day with him, and we were talking mangoes. He's got an amazing collection of mangoes, and yeah, I know that's big deal, right? Mangoes. When the guy grows durians, for God's sake, and he's pretty amazing grower. He really is. Bobby's a good guy. He's invested quite a bit of time and energy, and from what I understand, he does a lot of traveling too. But yeah, his property is beautiful, and he has a great collection. So we have 5 people here, and the only ones that have checked in is G from Virginia, fruit growers. If you haven't checked out his channel, you really should go check out his channel. He's a great guy. I love watching his videos. And then we have Max says G Key is a variety not so common. Lara sells it. Wasn't that good in my opinion. Okay, Julian Lara. So that's another fellow we have to talk about. He's a great guy. Julian, I knew his dad for many years. When Julian was probably, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. And his dad used to work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture as an inspector, I believe as an inspector. And anyway, he has a lot of history with the Miami Department of Agriculture, and a very well connected man he was. And he's always somebody that I think about because he's a really good guy. And his son is amazing as well. Julian's, I wish I lived closer to him. I love hanging out with him. He's awesome. So let me see down here, Richard. I have 2 avocados, 2 sapodillos, a tangerine, a large mango, and a few smaller mangoes, and a very small jabo in New York City. Wow, this is blowing my mind. I got Richard in New York City. I have Max. I'm going to call you Max because your handle is Max87. I have Max in Atlanta, growing lychees and jabuticabas. And then we have, of course, Virginia Fruit Grower has a great YouTube channel here. And I took a shot tonight. I says, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but let me go live, and let me just start, seeing what occurs. And the first guy that jumped in was G, Virginia Fruit Grower. So again, he got the ball rolling with the conversation, and so I have 3 people right now watching that are participating, and there's a few others obviously in the background that are kind of a little shy. They don't want to say anything. But in any event, thank you for being here. The other 4 out of the 7, but the 3 that are participating, thank you so much for chiming in. I really appreciate it. The other thing I was going to say is that I'm in Florida. You guys are in different states, and you must be very passionate about growing the fruit trees. So with that in mind, I would say that you guys should get a lot of credit. Wondering if Richard has a greenhouse. Do you have a greenhouse, Richard, for your avocados? What do you do? You bring them inside, you keep them in the greenhouse. Let us know. Let us know. And if there's anybody else that's watching right now, but not, chiming in, feel free to leave a comment, say something, ask a question. Absolutely. If I can't answer it, I'm sure G can chime in with an answer. But uh, I can answer most questions because I've been doing it as many of you have for many years. All right. So, yep, you're an inspiration, Pepe, to many growers. Oh, I really don't know why. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know. And I appreciate you saying that. I really don't do this because I want the recognition. I really don't. It's not what I'm all about. I just like to have fun growing the trees. And a lot of you know that I do some crazy stuff. I torture the plants to see what ends up happening. And I try different propagation techniques. And that's how we all learn. Every one of you is a pioneer, so to speak. Let's see. No, I have to bring them inside. Just brought them in 2 days ago. Okay. All right. So New York City. Let's see. It's October in New York City, and you brought them inside. Are you in an apartment building or are you in a house, Richard? And how many trees, more or less, do you have to bring in? Do they suffer during the winter when they have to be indoors and then they got to go back out in the springtime? How do they do? Max, got plans for Atlanta, Virginia. Yeah. Actually, gee, if you're ever down in my area, give me a heads up and come over. We'll do a video together at my place too. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about the propagation videos because that's really one of the things that I really enjoy doing. I mean, I love growing the trees. Don't get me wrong, and I love planting them and trying different things. But I really I like propagating them, experimenting with cuttings. Like for example, one time I did a video on propagating macadamia. And the only reason I did it, well, propagating macadamia. Yeah, of course, you can plant some seeds and you're growing macadamia, but that's really not the best way, right? So one time I ordered a macadamia. I ordered two macadamia in 1 gallon from a Florida grower up in, I don't remember the name of the company, but it was a Florida grower. He was up in somewhere, I think, north of Lexahatchee. Anyway, he sent me two beautiful 1 gallon Arkin macadamia trees. And I asked him, where did you graft these? And he goes, no, no. I go, did you air layer them? He goes, nope. I grew them from cuttings. And I said to the guy, I says, you're growing macadamia from a cutting? And he goes, yeah, it's a secret. I can't tell you how it's done, but I grow the macadamias from cuttings. And I go, wow, that's pretty cool. And yes, the guy was 100% spot on. He did because a year and a half later, these little things were flowering. They were only like 3.5 feet tall. They were already flowering. So I had two of them and they were flowering. Go forward about 2 more years, and the trees are literally a little over 5 feet, growing beautifully. Let me say hello to some of the people here. I have let's see, dwarf. Nope. I see. Okay. I see sushi. LOL. Okay, I don't know if that's a person or if that's just a is that participant sushi LOL, or is that somebody who's just throwing an emoji out there and laughing at me? Which is okay, that's fine. All right, back to my story about the macadamia. So the macadamia trees, I air layered a couple. That was easy. It takes a little longer. It took probably usually most of the air layers that I do are done during the summer or spring, and then they take 3 months, right? But macadamia took over 5 months. I think it would almost 6.5 months before that macadamia tree finally developed a nice root ball, and I was able to plant it out. And then I started experimenting with doing the cuttings, and it was failure after failure after failure. So I went online. I got to close the door here. I'm talking at midnight. And everyone's yelling at me. I'm on the computer. Give me a minute. All right, so I might have to just lower my voice a little bit. Any event, what I did is I started experimenting with those macadamias, and I couldn't get those cuttings to work. But eventually, I'll tell you, I did do it, and I'll tell you exactly how I did it. Okay, so let's see what it says here. Max 87. Those are all my spots. Let me know if you'd like to see my collection. I'm in a townhouse, so it's an interesting site, at least in the growing season. Very cool. You're in a townhouse growing in New York City. So we have extreme growers. We have one in New York City. We have G in Virginia. and then we have another fella, Richard, who's still with us, I think. Thank you, Richard. And he's up in Atlanta. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, the story about the story about the macadamia is that, sweet, you on Facebook or Instagram? Okay. The thing about the macadamia, if you want to know the story, is that they would not root. It'd be like, 2 months, and then they would just die. So I started thinking about it. I said, let me do some more research. So I did a little bit more research online, and I found a great article somewhere. I don't remember where it is, but I found the article, and it specifically stated that uh, you need to girdle the branch in order to stimulate uh, the the branch to begin to produce sugars and carbohydrates and so on, similar to what happens when you do an air layer. And then I took some of the fresh new growth that started to develop on it, and I took those young cuttings, and guess what? It worked. It worked. It took about 2 months, but they rooted beautifully, and I made several. I probably made over a dozen of them by now. All right, so yeah, Boma macadamia, right? So that's a good one. That's a really good one. I think that's very popular in California. I don't know about how well it does in Florida. Here in Florida, I have the Arkin. If you know who Arkin was, he was a famous guy, Morris Arkin. Morris Arkin was the developer of the Arkin variety, which is a paper shell. It's got a little crack. It's got a little crack in the macadamia nut, and it's very easy to break it for that reason. So he developed it. He was in North Miami, Florida, and he was a member of. I'm pretty sure he was a member of the Rare Fruit Council. Really good guy, very dedicated to doing all that experimentation with different types of propagation, and actually hybridized a lot of different things. And the Arkin was one that he created. All right, so you see, I keep them next to sunny windows. They used to suffer at first until I treated the water with chloride, and I used to better than soil in New York City. I tell you, I'm impressed with you guys. You guys that are not even in Florida that are growing these trees. You guys are great. I probably wouldn't have even tried that. I really, you guys are really, I don't know what word to use. It's extreme fanatical types, okay? And I say that in a nice way, trust me. But I don't know. I don't think I could do that. I really don't think I could. So let's see. We're down to 5 people. I guess I'm boring everybody to death here. And I've been on for about 23 minutes, and most of you have stuck with me for 23 minutes. And I'm gonna say this to you guys. I really appreciate the time you've taken to come and hang out, and you've given me a lot of positive energy, and I'm going to do this again. Probably do it again a little bit earlier, so that I don't have my wife upset yelling at me because she's in the room next door and she's trying to get some sleep, and I'm in the guest room and I'm making all this noise. So we'll keep in touch with everybody. Richard, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please check out my channel and subscribe. Leave a little comment below also. And next time I do one of these, I'll do it with an announcement so that you all know, and then we can join in and we'll have a much better topic to discuss. So again, Richard, thank you. G, thank you for coming by. And Max, I'll call you Max. You guys are great. Subscribe to me and subscribe also to Virginia Fruit Grower. So again, thank you, Richard. Thank you, G. Thank you, Max. And if I forgot anybody's name, I apologize. Uh, I don't have my glasses on, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm reading from a bit of a distance. But I do thank you guys for joining in. We're going to do this again. I had no idea that this was going to be as much fun as it is, and I had a little bit of an audience. But I think that if we do this once a week, I think we'll build a bigger audience, and we'll all get to know each other, and then we can discuss future videos. And if you currently have a channel, then promote your channel. Absolutely. So let's all help each other learn. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great night. And I gotta go only because I know I'm annoying my better half. So that's never a good thing. Again, peace, everybody. We'll see you again soon. All right. Have a great evening. All right. Good night, G. Good night, everybody.